Hello everybody, Mannix here. Going to be doing a quick little gear review, I guess I'll call this. Can't really just call it a knife review because it's not just a knife, on something that is once again in my wallet. Right here in this utility pocket on the back of it, I keep the amazing little Victorinox Swiss Card Lite. There's variations of this tool. There's like the Victorinox Swiss Card Classic and so on. I don't know if they're making these anymore. I bought this years ago, but there are handfuls of these left over on different knife websites, and stores in general have them. What makes it Swiss Card Lite, I believe, is this one happens to have a little flashlight on it. This is a nifty little tool. It's considered a credit card tool, but it's not nearly as thin as a credit card. I'd say that's about 3 times thicker, so it won't comfortably fit into a slot you would put a debit or credit card in your wallet, but you can fit it into like side pockets and the utility pockets, etc., etc. Recently I did a review of the Ian Sinclair Card Sharp 2, which actually can fit into a credit card or debit card slot, which is one of the advantages this has, and it has a bigger blade. But the downside is this is only a blade. This is many things. It's 3 inches by 2 inches. Actually, let's get the weight down. It's relatively heavy because it's kind of clunky and chunky. I didn't even weigh this off camera. Let's see. It is 0.96 ounces, so just shy of 1 ounce, as you can see there. And let's get to the business end first. It does have a knife. Right here, it's kind of a drop. It's almost like a sheep's foot blade, actually, but it's not a sheep's foot. It has a tip right there. What would you call that? I don't know what kind of blade I would call it. It's not quite a drop. Maybe it's a drop point, modified drop point. Who cares? Can pierce relatively. It's not very sharp, and it's a mystery blade steel that will dull on you very quickly if you use it too much. You just pull it out if you don't have a knife on. You have absolutely no other knife on. You have to cut something real quick. You have to open a package up or something. This will work very well for little things like that. That's what this is for. It's a backup tool, but that's the knife right here. By the way, this is I think they call it the crimson color, or whoops, wrong way. I think they call it the crimson, but they have this translucent red color, which I think is beautiful. Then they have the blue one, I think that's the sapphire. Then they have the onyx, which is the black smoke one. I had that one many, many years ago, but one day I took it out of my wallet and it was slightly cracked among the plastic right here. It's not Efron, I think it's just a regular plastic. If I can find out what variant of plastic it is, I'll roll it in right there, but it's not the most sturdy of materials, but it doesn't really need to be. It's in your wallet, you're not really smacking it around, but if you're big and heavy and you're sitting on your wallet, this happens to be in your wallet, and you're on a hardwood chair or something, yeah, it might have problems, but I've heard reports of it not cracking if that's the case. But maybe one day it would. These don't really last forever, and even this is already kind of feeling a little slightly flimsy. It has been a few years, but this used to have a really nice snap, this knife, and now it almost feels like I can shake it out. No, I can't, but the snap is kind of gone. It's cheap plastic that kind of fades away at every single time you insert or take out the tools. But it's still holding up okay, even after like 3 or 4 years, however long it's been I've had this. I've used it a handful of times. We also have a screwdriver right here. Yes, this is a screwdriver. It has 2 Phillips heads and then 2 flatheads right here. You can also clean your fingernails out with these little things. Believe it or not, even though it's so thin, these work. These Phillips heads work. In a pinch, you can actually torque even pretty tight, big old Phillips head screws with these things. I'm amazed. But this has saved me many, many times, especially because most of us don't carry screwdrivers on us, and we just needed to screw or unscrew something real quick, and that works. That's actually one of the most handy things. I would say the second, if not also the most handy thing, would be the pen. It comes with a pen. It looks like an ink cartridge for a pen, but this is actually a pen that works. And for some reason, it's blue ink. Here. This was the specs I had for the Ian Sinclair Card Sharp. It works. I mean, this has saved me a lot if I don't have a pen on me. I really should carry a pen. There's even a little pocket protector thing that's almost like it is a pocket clip on a pen. I should carry one. I don't know why I don't carry a pen. I don't. But this works every single time I did need a pen. This came in handy a lot, actually. And then we have some tweezers. Tweezers, self-explanatory. I've used these a handful of times, too. Very nice. They work just fine. Magnifying glass, as you can see, I've never used that, but that certainly could come in handy for whatever reason. And we have a pin right here. A pin in between the pen and the tweezers. Self-explanatory, pins can be useful. And then we have a pair of scissors. Scissors work just fine too. I've used these a couple of times. If for whatever reason you don't want to use the knife, there's a lot of situations where scissors work a little bit better than knives, and that's what these are good for. These are still snapping in pretty nicely. Those are not going anywhere. And we have a ruler. On this side, only goes up to 3 inches, but if you flip it over, you can see it is in the metric system. 7 centimeters. And last but not least, well, actually, no, it is least because this one sucks, the flashlight. There's a little switch right here which allows you can see the battery just makes contact with the LED right there. And sometimes on certain cards I got, these were actually okay, but this one's terrible. It's so faint, it almost doesn't work at all. You have to be like point blank. It's supposed to be brighter than this. I think this one was a dud. Look, it just turned off on me. It's like it's already running out of batteries, even though I've basically never used this. I guarantee, like, since the day I got it, that's how faint it was. Let me turn off the light in my little studio here. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty dim. Well, it's good enough so you can see. Here, let me pull my notepad out. Yeah, okay, I take that back. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. It works, it just doesn't work very well. It's very faint, but if you absolutely have no other flashlight, like let's say you dropped your flashlight out in the dark and you don't have a second, like this is your second flashlight to help you find the flashlight you dropped. That's essentially what this is for. It is not a good primary flashlight, but it's on there. You don't really lose anything by having it there, so whatever. I kind of like how we have a knife, scissors, flashlight, screwdrivers, tweezers, a pin, and a pen, a ruler, a magnifying glass, all in one tool. I would say what came in handy the most for me is the pen and the screwdriver. I use those two the most with this thing. But of course, we knife guys always like to have another blade on us, so we have a knife in there. There's situations where someone needs a knife and you don't want to give them your folding knife, or you're using your folding knife, go here, use this. You know, things like that. They have to open a package or cut a zip tie or something simple like that. It's kind of beautiful looking. I like the colors. They choose the red or the blue, but of course most people are going to go for the black. I don't blame you. Black's a pretty sweet color. But I like how it's translucent. It fits in your wallet, but not in the credit card slot. It just fits in like a utility pocket of your... I call them utility pockets because I don't know what else to call them. So it's pretty cool. It's a pretty sweet multi-tool. So anyway, that is it. That is the Victorinox Swiss Card Lite. It's a pretty sweet little multi-tool that fits in your wallet. They go... I should have said this first. They go for about $30. I would like to see these closer to like at $20. $30 I think is just slightly expensive for what you're getting. Because this construction overall feels relatively cheap, but it's not that big of a deal. It's not the end of the world. It's not like $50 or something. So if you want it, go ahead and get it. It's not a waste of money. I like these tools. So